Hey people, welcome back to my channel. So it's that time of the year again, that festive holiday season where we're all preparing for Christmas, especially what we're gonna be cooking around Christmas. So I've decided I'm gonna show you guys how I make jollof rice. Jollof rice is probably the most requested video on my channel right now, so I think it's best I show you guys how I make it before Christmas. So I'm gonna be showing you guys the measurements that I use. I'm gonna be showing how to make it nice and tasty, how to make it smoky and fluffy, especially fluffy because we don't want mushy jollof rice. So I hope you guys like the video. I'm not sure when this video is gonna be going now, but it's definitely gonna go out before Christmas time. So Merry Christmas to you guys. I hope you enjoy your Christmas, and thanks so much for subscribing to my channel. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get started. Okay, so before we begin, the recipe I'm sharing today will serve 5 to 6 people. So let's start off with the pepper mixture. As you can see here, we've got some red bell pepper and a tin of plum tomatoes. I use a lot more bell peppers than the tomatoes in my jollof rice because I like my jollof rice to be nice and rich and colorful, and the bell pepper contributes to making that happen. So I have here 3 red bell pepper, and even though I'm showing you a whole tin of plum tomatoes, I'm actually only going to use half of this tin for this recipe. If you don't have red bell pepper, you can use this red sweet pointy peppers, and if you don't have a tin of plum tomatoes, you can use fresh vine tomatoes for this recipe as well. So I'll also be using 2 scotch bonnet, which can be adjusted to your tolerance. So we're going to be using also 4 garlic cloves, a small amount of ginger, 5 medium-sized red onions. I only use red onions in jollof rice. It makes it nice and sweet. So I'm blending 4 of the onions with the peppers, and we'll slice the last onion to fry later. So I'll blend everything you can see on the screen right now apart from one of the onions. When I blend, I'll add 1 cup of water and blend it until it's smooth. So the next ingredient is the rice. I'll be using long grain rice, and my favorite brand is Tolly Boy. I will be using 4 cups of rice. This is the measuring cups that I use for the rice. If you want fluffy rice, because we're trying to avoid mushy jollof rice right now, so we'll need to ensure that the starch is washed out of the rice. So that means you will wash and drain the rice until the water is clear. The next ingredient is the tomato puree. This is the main ingredient that makes the jollof rice very colorful. As I said before, the red bell pepper really does make a difference, but adding the tomato puree is necessary. So I'm using half of this tin, which is 105 grams. I'll also use some chicken stock. You can use meat stock. I'm only using chicken stock because I cooked chicken earlier and I saved the stock for the jollof rice. So we'll also need some oil. You don't need a lot of oil for jollof rice, so don't overdo it. The last part of the ingredient is basically the spices and seasonings. So we need salt to taste, some seasoning cubes or any other seasonings of your choice. I'm using Knorr chicken seasoning cubes. We also need 3 bay leaves, curry powder and thyme. Now that we've got everything covered in terms of the ingredients, so we can start cooking. My cooker is set to medium heat right now, so we're gonna heat the oil and fry the sliced onions slightly before we add the tomato puree first. So make sure to stir the puree consistently to avoid burning. This is why I'm frying it on medium heat, as it would easily burn. So I do this for about 5 minutes. It's ready when it looks a bit like crumbled. So once the tomato puree is ready, so I add the blended pepper mixture. To avoid soggy rice, I prefer to measure this part. So I added 4 full cups of pepper mixture, which is the same amount of rice I'll be cooking. So 4 cups of blended peppers and 4 cups of rice always work for me. So I just stir it all together. I like to add the bay leaves straight away to start off the flavor, and I cook this for 5 minutes on medium to high heat. So after 5 minutes of cooking the sauce, I add the chicken stock and all the spices and seasonings I mentioned earlier, including the salt as well. So I covered it and let it fully cook for 10 more minutes. So the total time for cooking this sauce was 15 minutes for me. So whilst this cooks, or you can just go ahead and wash the rice, but like I mentioned earlier, ensure that the rice is washed until the water is clear, because we don't want mushy or sticky jollof rice. So after 15 minutes, the sauce would have thickened, and this is the best time to taste, just in case you need to adjust the seasoning or the salt. I ended up adding a little bit more salt to mine. So once you are satisfied with your sauce, you can add the rice and stir it with the sauce thoroughly and make sure it's properly, mixed together. So this is another important part to avoid soggy jollof rice. We don't want to add excess, water to the rice that can make it soggy. So once the rice is thoroughly mixed with the sauce, you can add in just enough water to cover the rice. So the water should be just above the level of the rice, which works well. And that's one way of doing it, but I prefer to measure mine. So for this recipe, I just added 1 cup of water, and that was enough to be able to cook this jollof rice. So cover it with foil first to lock in the heat and the moisture, and then cover it with the lid. We're gonna cook this on medium to low heat. It needs to be this kind of heat to cook the rice thoroughly, because we've not really added a lot of water to the rice, and we don't want it to burn, or we don't want like hard rice. So it needs to be like on medium to low heat. So after 20 minutes, this is what it looks like. It might look like there's not enough water to cook the jollof, but there is. So at this point, I have a taste again, just to make sure that I don't need any more seasoning or salt or anything like that. So just taste the rice and then adjust your seasoning at this point, and then cover it again with foil and then the lid. After another 20 minutes, the rice is nearly ready. We just need it to be fully dry. As you can see, it's still a little moist, and at this point, if you taste the rice and you feel that the rice is already soft to your own liking, then you don't need to use the foil anymore. You just need to use the lid only, as you won't need the extra steam that the foil provides. So but with mine, the rice was still a little hard, and that's why I left the foil on to complete the cooking process for another 10 minutes. Now it's pretty done, and if you want that smoky flavor, that patty jollof rice vibe, just turn up the heat to high heat and cover the rice with just the lid and let it burn. So let it burn for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and there you have it. It's all done. Obviously jollof rice is easy, but it's harder when you're cooking for more people. But measuring the rice, measuring the pepper mixture and everything I add together really does help me to gauge how I want the jollof rice to turn out. So yeah guys, this is my way of making jollof rice, and I know there are tons of different ways to make it, but I hope you try this one, and please let me know what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you know what you want me to cook next in the comment section below, and I'll try and make it happen. So thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.